Lena Wang died on a rainy night. The city lights outside the hospital window were bright, but her world was dark. She lay on a narrow bed in the emergency room, her body weak, her clothes thin and worn. No family stood by her side. No one held her hand. She was 30 years old and penniless. A nurse whispered softly, "Do you have any family we can call?" Lena smiled bitterly. Family? That word felt distant, almost ironic. Her parents had abandoned her when she was 10. They took her younger sister, Emma, and left Lena behind with her grandfather's relatives. At that time, her grandfather, Henry Wang, was already sick and living abroad for treatment. The relatives promised to take care of Lena. They lied. From that day on, Lena became a burden. She cooked, cleaned, worked part-time, and endured endless scolding. Her aunt, Vivian Liu, always said, "You should be grateful we didn't throw you out." Lena believed it. She worked hard, studied hard, and never complained. But kindness never earned her kindness in return. When her grandfather finally passed away years later, Lena thought her suffering was over. Henry Wang was a famous businessman. He had promised Lena once, holding her small hand, "You are my granddaughter. I won't forget you." But at the will reading, everything changed. Vivian cried loudly, accusing Lena of forging documents and stealing company funds. Fake evidence was presented. The relatives pointed fingers. Even Emma, forced and manipulated, was pushed to testify against her own sister. Lena was expelled from the family that day. She lost her job soon after. No company would hire someone labeled a thief. Her phone was cut off. Her bank account frozen. She searched everywhere for Emma, but Vivian had moved her away. On the night Lena collapsed from hunger and exhaustion, the last thing she saw was the rain washing the streets clean, just like it washed her out of the world. Tears slid from the corner of her eye. "Emma. I'm sorry," she whispered. Her heart stopped. Miss Lena, wake up." A sharp voice pulled her back. Lena gasped and opened her eyes. Bright sunlight hit her face. She sat up suddenly, her heart pounding wildly. She wasn't in a hospital. She was in a familiar old bedroom, with pale blue curtains and a wooden desk by the window. On the wall hung a family photo, her grandfather, much younger, smiling kindly. Lena froze. Her hands were small, smooth. No scars from years of hard labor. She stumbled out of bed and rushed to the mirror. A teenage girl stared back at her, pale face, clear eyes, long black hair tied simply. I'm 16, she whispered. Her breath trembled. Memories flooded in like a storm. Dates. Faces. Events. She remembered everything, her death, the betrayal, the will, Emma crying helplessly. This was before her grandfather's death. She was reborn. A knock sounded on the door. "Lena, breakfast is ready," a young girl's voice called softly. Lena's eyes widened. She rushed to open the door. Emma stood there, alive, unharmed, holding 2 bowls of porridge. She was only 12 now, her eyes gentle and trusting. "Sister." Emma blinked. "What's wrong?" Lena pulled her into a tight hug. Emma was warm. Real. Lena's tears finally fell. "I'm fine," Lena said hoarsely, wiping her face. "I'm just really happy to see you." Emma smiled, confused but relieved. Downstairs, Vivian's voice echoed loudly as usual, complaining about expenses and useless children. Lena listened quietly this time, her eyes cold. So this was the beginning. In her past life, she had been obedient and silent. She endured, hoping kindness would move hearts. This time, she knew better. She looked at Emma, eating obediently, unaware of the future traps waiting for her. "I won't let anyone hurt you again," Lena thought firmly. "And Vivian?" Lena lowered her eyes, hiding the sharp light within. "You stole my life once," she said silently. "This time, I'll rewrite the will, and your ending." Outside, the sun rose higher. A new story had begun. Lena did not change overnight. That was the first thing she reminded herself. In her past life, her biggest mistake was acting too honestly, too directly. She believed truth alone could protect her. Now she knew truth needed timing, strategy, and power. So she observed. At breakfast, Aunt Vivian complained as usual. Henry's medical bills are getting higher. Some people here eat for free and still don't know gratitude. Her eyes flicked toward Lena and Emma. In the past, Lena would lower her head and apologize. This time, she calmly picked up her spoon and said, "Aunt Vivian, Grandpa's overseas treatment is fully covered by the company trust. The finance report came last month." The room went silent. Vivian's chopsticks froze in midair. "What did you say?" Lena smiled politely. "I helped Uncle Mark organize documents yesterday. I happened to see it. It was a small thing. But it was enough." Vivian narrowed her eyes. Something felt off. This girl was different. Emma looked at her sister with admiration. "Sister, you're amazing." Lena reached over and lightly tapped Emma's forehead. "Eat properly." That day, Lena made her first decision. She needed two things: evidence and allies. The first ally she chose was her grandfather. In her past life, she rarely contacted him. She didn't want to disturb him, and Vivian always controlled communication. But now Lena knew Henry Wang trusted results, not excuses. That evening, Lena borrowed the landline phone. Vivian frowned. "Who are you calling?" "Grandpa," Lena replied simply. Vivian's face changed instantly. "He's resting. Don't bother him." Lena dialed anyway. After a few seconds, a familiar deep voice answered. "Hello." Lena's throat tightened. "Grandpa, it's Lena." There was a pause. Then warmth filled the line. "Lena, how are you? Are you eating well?" Tears nearly escaped her eyes, but she held them back. "I'm fine. I'm studying hard." "Grandpa, I want to ask, may I help with small tasks at the company during the holidays?" Another pause. This one longer. "You?" Henry asked calmly. "Why?" Lena answered steadily, "Because I want to learn. And because one day, I want to stand on my own." Her words were simple, but sincere. Henry laughed softly. "Good. I'll have my assistant arrange something." Vivian stood frozen beside the phone. That night, she couldn't sleep. "She's changing," Vivian muttered. "I need to be careful." A week later, Lena attended a youth business forum as part of a student observation program. That was where she met Alex Chen. He walked onto the stage in a black suit, tall and expressionless. His presence alone silenced the room. He was only 28, yet already the CEO of Chen Group, a rising tech empire. "Cold," whispered students around her. "Scary." Lena watched quietly. In her past life, Alex Chen was a name she only saw in news headlines: powerful, distant, untouchable. She never imagined crossing paths with him. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. After the forum, Lena stayed behind to review notes. She noticed a man standing near the exit, speaking on the phone. "Delay the acquisition," Alex said coolly. "Someone is hiding numbers." Lena paused. Those numbers, they sounded familiar. She hesitated for 2 seconds, then walked over. "Excuse me," she said softly. "If you're talking about the South Harbor project, the issue might be in the subcontractor layer, not the main accounts." Alex turned. His eyes were sharp, dark, and unreadable. "Continue," he said. Lena took a breath. "I reviewed similar cases. The surface reports are clean, but the shell companies underneath inflate logistics costs." Silence. Then Alex smiled slightly. It was brief, but real. "What's your name?" he asked. "Lena Wang." He nodded. "Interesting." That was all. He left. But that night, Alex told his assistant, "Investigate Lena Wang." Back home, Lena found Emma sitting quietly on the bed. "Vivian talked to my teacher today," Emma said nervously. "She said I shouldn't aim too high." Lena's eyes darkened. In her past life, Emma slowly lost confidence because of these words. Not this time. Lena knelt in front of her sister. "Emma, listen to me. You're smart. You're kind. Never let anyone decide your future." Emma's eyes filled with tears. "Really? Really," Lena said firmly. "And I'll prove it to you." That night, Lena opened an old notebook. Inside were names, dates, and events she remembered clearly. The fake heirs. The forged will. The money trails. She wrote one sentence at the top of the page. This time, I move first. Outside, the city lights flickered. Somewhere high above, Alex Chen looked at a file with Lena's photo and smiled faintly. The game had begun. Lena's days became quietly busy. On the surface, everything looked normal. She went to school, helped Emma with homework, and remained polite to the relatives. But beneath that calm, she was laying threads, thin, careful threads that would one day tighten into a net. Her first target was information. Vivian controlled the household, but she was careless in one way. She believed Lena was still the obedient girl from before. That gave Lena access. Every afternoon, Lena helped organize documents in the study. She didn't rush. She read carefully. Expense lists. Investment names. Company branches. Most of it didn't matter, but some names made her fingers pause. Blue Rock Consulting. In her past life, this company appeared shortly before her grandfather's death. It was later exposed, too late, that Blue Rock was used to transfer money to private accounts under Vivian's control. Lena's heart beat faster. So it starts this early, she thought. She copied the name quietly into her notebook. At school, changes were also happening. Lena's teachers noticed her sharp thinking and calm confidence. She no longer avoided attention. In group discussions, she spoke clearly and directly. Some classmates admired her. Others whispered behind her back. She's pretending to be smart now, one girl said. Lena didn't care. In her past life, she spent too much energy worrying about opinions that never saved her. After school one day, she waited outside Emma's classroom. She saw a boy blocking Emma's path. "You're Vivian's niece, right?" he sneered. "My mom said your family steals money." Emma clenched her fists, eyes red. "That's not true." Before Lena could step in, Emma took a deep breath and said, "My sister says people who gossip usually have empty lives." The boy laughed awkwardly and walked away. Lena froze, then smiled. Emma was changing too. That night, Lena cooked dinner for the two of them. Simple food. Warm light. "Sister," Emma asked softly, "why are you suddenly so strong?" Lena paused. Then she said honestly, "Because I learned that being weak doesn't protect the people you love." Emma nodded, not fully understanding, but trusting. 2 days later, Lena received an unexpected message. "Unknown number, Mr. Chen would like to invite you for a short discussion." Lena stared at the screen. Alex Chen. She expected him to investigate her, but not this fast. They met at a quiet cafe near the business district. Alex arrived on time. He wore a dark coat, his expression calm and distant. "You're young," he said after they sat down. "Too young to notice financial manipulation." Lena met his gaze. "Age doesn't decide insight." Alex studied her for a moment, then chuckled softly. "Fair answer." He slid a tablet across the table. On the screen were documents, Blue Rock Consulting. Lena's fingers tightened slightly. "You noticed it too," Alex said. "Interesting." Lena didn't deny it. "It doesn't belong in clean accounts." Alex leaned back. "You remind me of someone who's already lost once." Lena's heart skipped. "Mr. Chen," she said calmly, "I don't know what you think you see. But I only want to protect what matters." Alex looked at her for a long time. Then he said, "If you ever need help, remember this information is a form of power." He stood up. "And you use it well." As he walked away, Lena felt something shift. In her past life, she fought alone. This time, she might not have to. At home, Vivian was pacing. She had just received a call from a financial contact. "Someone is reviewing old accounts," the man whispered. Quietly. Vivian's heart sank. She looked toward the staircase. Lena was standing there, holding a book, her expression innocent. Their eyes met. For the first time, Vivian felt uneasy. That night, Vivian gathered the relatives. "We need to speed things up," she said coldly. "Henry is old. Once the will is finalized, nothing else matters." Lena stood outside the door, listening. Her lips curved into a faint smile. So that's your plan. She returned to her room and sent a message. Lena, Mr. Chen, are you free tomorrow? I may have something worth your time. Across the city, Alex Chen looked at his phone. A slow, rare smile appeared. The storm was approaching and Lena was no longer afraid. The next morning, Lena woke up earlier than usual. She stood by the window, watching Emma sleep peacefully. For a moment, her heart softened. In her past life, Emma had slowly become silent, cautious, always afraid of making mistakes. That version of Emma never smiled this freely. Lena clenched her fist gently. I'll shield you from the storm, she promised silently. At school, Lena noticed something was wrong. Emma's teacher pulled her aside. Emma has been distracted lately. Her aunt said you're pressuring her too much. Lena's eyes turned cold. After class, Lena found Emma sitting alone in the library. Aunt Vivian talked to me again, Emma said quietly. She said if I listen to her, she'll help me get into a good school. Lena sat beside her. And what did you say? Emma looked down. I didn't answer. Lena nodded. That's good. Remember this, Emma. Anyone who uses help as a condition wants control. Emma looked up slowly. Sister, will we really be okay? Lena smiled, warm and steady. Yes. Because this time, we're prepared. That afternoon, Lena met Alex Chen again, this time in his office. The Chen Group headquarters was sleek and modern, all glass and steel. Lena walked in calmly, ignoring the curious glances. Alex gestured for her to sit. You said you had something. Lena placed a USB drive on the table. Blue Rock Consulting, she said. And 2 related shell companies. All connected to my aunt. Alex raised an eyebrow. You move fast. I've had a long time to think, Lena replied. Alex reviewed the files. The more he read, the colder his expression became. This is solid, he said finally. But exposing it now would alert them. I know, Lena said. That's why I don't want to expose it yet. Alex looked at her with renewed interest. Then what do you want? Lena met his gaze. I want leverage. And time. Alex leaned back, silent for a moment. Then he laughed softly. You're ruthless in a good way. He stood up. Fine. I'll help you hold it. When you're ready, we strike. As Lena stood to leave, Alex added, Why are you doing all this? She paused at the door. Because losing everything once taught me the value of everything. Alex watched her leave, eyes dark and thoughtful. Vivian, meanwhile, was growing impatient. She arranged a family dinner and invited Henry Wang to attend via video call. It was meant to show harmony, but it was also a test. Lena, Vivian said sweetly, why don't you tell Grandpa about your studies? In her past life, Lena would stumble, nervous and unsure. This time, she spoke clearly. I'm preparing for a finance competition. I hope to intern at the company next year. Henry smiled. Good. Ambition is a strength. Vivian forced a smile, but her fingers tightened under the table. After the call ended, Vivian cornered Lena in the hallway. You're getting too close to things you don't understand, she warned. Lena looked at her calmly. Then maybe you should stop doing things you're afraid people will understand. Vivian's face went pale. That night, Emma cried quietly in bed. Lena sat beside her, holding her hand. They said Mom and Dad didn't want us, Emma whispered. Lena closed her eyes briefly. In her past life, that lie destroyed Emma's heart. They were weak, Lena said softly. But we are not. And we choose our own worth. Emma hugged her tightly. 2 days later, Lena made her next move. She anonymously sent selective information to the company's internal audit team, not enough to expose Vivian, but enough to trigger a deeper review. The net was tightening. Vivian sensed it. She made a call. Move the funds, she said urgently. Tonight. Lena watched from the shadows, listening. Her phone buzzed. Alex, they're panicking. Lena smiled faintly. Good, she whispered. That means they're making mistakes. The shield around Emma was holding. And soon, the sword would fall. The day of the will reading arrived sooner than expected. Vivian had pushed for it, claiming Henry Wang's health was unstable and the family needed clarity. On the surface, it sounded reasonable. In truth, she was afraid. The audits were closing in, accounts were frozen temporarily, and money had gone missing in places she could no longer explain. So she chose to end the game early. The Wang family gathered in the old family hall. Lawyers sat at the front. Relatives whispered among themselves. Cameras were set up. Vivian had invited media under the excuse of transparency. Lena sat quietly beside Emma. Emma's fingers were cold. Lena squeezed her hand gently. "Don't be afraid." Emma nodded, trusting her sister completely. The large screen lit up. Henry Wang appeared via live video call. He looked thin, but his eyes were sharp. "Let's begin," Henry said calmly. The lawyer opened the document. "Before the will is read, Mr. Wang requested a final financial clarification." Vivian's heart skipped. Clarification? What clarification? Henry raised a hand. "Vivian, be quiet." The room fell silent. The lawyer continued, "Over the past 3 years, multiple irregular transfers were found under Blue Rock Consulting and its related companies." Gasps spread through the room. Vivian stood up abruptly. "This is ridiculous. Those were approved expenses." Lena stood as well. "Approved by whom?" she asked calmly. All eyes turned to her. Vivian sneered. "You have no place to speak here." Lena smiled slightly. "Then perhaps Mr. Chen does." The doors opened. Alex Chen walked in. The room exploded into whispers. "The Chen Group CEO? Why is he here?" Alex walked straight to Lena's side and placed a hand lightly on her shoulder. "I'm here as an external auditor and witness," he said coldly. "And as her partner." Silence. Vivian's face turned white. "Partner? What nonsense." Alex cut her off. "Chen Group has been tracking illegal fund flows connected to your accounts. These documents," he nodded to the lawyer, "were provided by Lena Wang." Screens lit up with evidence. Transaction trails. Shell companies. Private accounts. One by one, the lies collapsed. Vivian screamed, "She framed me. She's just jealous." Henry's voice thundered through the speakers. "Enough." He looked straight at Lena. "Child, why didn't you tell me earlier?" Lena bowed her head slightly. "Because I wanted you to see the truth clearly. Not hear excuses." Henry closed his eyes. Then he spoke slowly. "Vivian Liu, effective immediately, you are removed from all family and company positions." Vivian collapsed into her chair. The lawyer resumed reading. "The sole beneficiaries of the main estate are Lena Wang and Emma Wang." Emma covered her mouth in shock. Lena remained calm, but her eyes were red. This time, no one could take it from her. As security escorted Vivian away, she turned back, eyes full of hatred. Lena met her gaze without fear. That was the face-slapping justice. Outside, reporters rushed forward. "Mr. Chen, is it true you're dating Miss Wang?" Alex looked at Lena. Lena met his eyes, steady and composed. "Yes," Alex said simply. "And I'm proud of it." Flashes exploded. Lena felt the weight of her past life finally lift. She looked down at Emma, who smiled through tears. "Sister," Emma whispered, "we won." Lena hugged her tightly. "No," she said softly. "We survived. And now, we live." Above them, the sky was clear for the first time in a long while. The news spread fast. By the next morning, every major media outlet carried the same headline. Wang family scandal exposed, Chen Group CEO publicly claims Lena Wang. Photos of Lena standing calmly beside Alex filled the screens. Some praised her courage. Some questioned her age and background. Some tried to dig up her past. Lena read none of it. She was standing in the hospital garden, holding a tablet for her grandfather. Henry Wang sat in a wheelchair, wrapped in a light blanket. His face looked tired, but peaceful. "I failed you once," he said quietly. Lena shook her head. "You trusted the wrong people. That doesn't make you weak." Henry smiled faintly. "You're different now. Stronger than I imagined." Lena lowered her head slightly. Because I learned the cost of silence. Henry placed his hand over hers. From today on, the Wang family will walk forward under your name. That single sentence was heavier than any inheritance. Back home, life slowly settled. Vivian and the others were under investigation. The house felt quieter without their voices, but not empty. Emma sat at the dining table, surrounded by books. "Sister," she said excitedly. "I got first place in the city math test." Lena laughed softly and hugged her. "I knew you would." Emma hesitated, then asked, "Do you think I can really become anything I want?" Lena knelt to her level. "I know you can." Emma smiled, bright and fearless. That smile made everything worth it. At Chen Group, Lena officially joined as a special project consultant. Some employees doubted her. "Isn't she only there because of Mr. Chen? She's too young." Lena didn't argue. She spoke with results. Within a month, she helped uncover inefficiencies, improved supplier transparency, and proposed a new youth innovation program. Numbers spoke louder than rumors. Alex watched from a distance. "You're not relying on me at all," he said one evening. Lena looked up from her laptop. "I never planned to." Alex chuckled. "Good. I don't want a shadow. I want a partner." For a moment, Lena was silent. In her past life, love was a luxury she couldn't afford. Now, standing here, she realized something had changed. "I don't need saving," she said honestly. "But I can walk beside you." Alex reached for her hand. "That's exactly what I want." One evening, Lena stood alone on the balcony of the old Wang house. The city lights glowed below, just like the night she died. But this time, she wasn't cold. She wasn't hungry. She wasn't alone. She thought of the girl she used to be, quiet, obedient, believing endurance was kindness. She whispered into the night, "You did your best. I'll take it from here." The wind carried her words away. Months later, at a charity foundation launch supporting abandoned children, Lena took the stage. "I was once a child who believed silence was survival," she said calmly. "But silence only protects injustice." She looked at Emma in the audience. At her grandfather. At Alex. "I want every child to know this," Lena continued. "Your past does not define your worth. And family is not who hurts you, it's who stands with you." The applause was long and steady. Emma clapped the loudest. That night, Lena received a message from an unknown number. "Unknown, if you had another chance, would you choose the same path?" Lena smiled and typed her reply. "Lena, yes. Because this time, I chose myself." She closed her phone. In this life, there were no regrets left to chase her. Only a future she had rewritten with her own hands. 3 years later. Spring sunlight filled the conference hall as Lena Wang stepped onto the stage. She wore a clean white suit, simple and confident. Behind her, the screen displayed the logo of Wang Future Foundation, now one of the most influential youth support organizations in the city. Applause rose naturally. Lena paused for a moment, letting her eyes sweep across the room. She saw familiar faces. Her grandfather sat in the front row, healthier now, his back straight, his eyes proud. Emma sat beside him, taller, brighter, no longer the timid girl who once lowered her head at every sharp word. Alex stood quietly near the aisle, hands in his pockets, watching Lena with the same calm certainty he always had. Lena began to speak. "Many people know me because of a scandal," she said calmly. "But I don't want to be remembered for that." The room grew quiet. "I want to be remembered as someone who proved that your starting point does not decide your ending." Her voice was steady. Not loud. Not emotional. Just real. After the event, Emma ran up to her. "Sister," she said, eyes shining. "I got accepted." Lena froze. "Accepted where?" Emma grinned. "The International Finance Program. Full scholarship." For a brief second, Lena couldn't speak. Then she hugged Emma tightly. In her past life, Emma never had this chance. She was pulled into fear, into obedience, into a small world shaped by others. This Emma stood tall. "You earned it," Lena said softly. Emma shook her head. You showed me how. That evening, Lena and Alex walked along the river. The city reflected in the water, calm and bright. Do you ever think about it? Alex asked. What your life would have been if you hadn't fought back? Lena nodded. Sometimes. Do you regret it? He asked. She stopped walking and looked at him. I regret that I once believed I deserved less, she said honestly. But everything after that, no. Alex reached out, lacing his fingers with hers. You're not cold, he said quietly. You're just clear. Lena smiled. And you're not heartless. You're just careful. Alex laughed. Fair. They continued walking, unhurried. Late that night, Lena stood alone in her study. She opened an old notebook, the one filled with names, dates, and pain from a life that no longer existed. She turned to the first page. This time, I move first. Lena picked up a pen and gently drew a line through the sentence. Then she wrote below it. This time, I move forward. She closed the notebook and placed it back on the shelf. The past had done its job. It taught her. It sharpened her. But it no longer owned her. Outside, the city lights stretched endlessly. Lena Wang, once abandoned, once silenced, once broken, stood firmly in a life she built herself. Not because she was reborn, but because when she was given another chance, she chose courage over fear, truth over silence, and herself over everything that tried to erase her. And that choice rewrote everything.